Hi Instagram, hi Facebook, this is Lisa, I'm happy to see you. Let me know in the comments whether you can hear me, whether you can see me all right. Oh, I'm zooming in and out, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, brilliant. So, yes, welcome to my 9th career coaching drop-in session. My name is Lisa and I'm also known as Job Coach Germany, and I help you land your dream job in Germany. So, let's just quickly talk about whether you're right or wrong here and whether you're wasting your time. So if you are unhappy with your current job, or if you're looking for a new job and don't really know what you want to be in a couple of months or in a couple of years, then you're definitely right here. Also, in case you are transitioning between your current job and a job in the future, then you're also right here, and especially when you're considering having a job in Germany. And in today's session, there is actually something about cultural sensitivity that I would like to talk to you about, and it's all about some crazy facts about the Germans and German traits. So maybe you can let me know in the comments what kind of different traits you've already encountered when meeting Germans, when talking to Germans, when working with Germans especially, because I know that we can be quite difficult at times. We don't mean it in a mean way, but I know that Germans are very special when it comes to working together with other cultures. So, today's topic is about fun facts about the Germans, and I hope that some of those facts are new information for you that you haven't heard yet. And the first thing that I would like to talk to you about is something that is very, very special for children when they enter school. So, on our first day of school, normally school starts on a Thursday. So we have the huge summer break of 6 weeks, and then afterwards on Thursdays school starts. For all of the students or pupils from the age or from the grade 2 until 12 or 13. So basically, when you're in 2nd grade, you start on a Thursday, and then onwards you will always start on a Thursday. But for the very first time when you enter school, then it will be a very special event, and you don't start on a Thursday. You start on a Saturday, and it's a huge family event. And the most important thing for the little child is that the child receives something that we call Schultüte. So it's basically like a school cone, and in that cone, it can be that small, it can be that big. Sometimes the school's cone is as big as the little child, and it's filled with candy, with school equipment like paper and pens and colors and colored pens and pencils. Sometimes you get a stuffed animal along with your school bag, and this is very special. Sometimes the school cones are prepared and crafted by their parents. The most common thing is that you buy it in a supermarket or in a store for paper stuff. So basically, if you don't have the time or not the skills to make your own, you can always buy it in a supermarket. So, and this is a very nice custom because it shows the children that a new part of their life starts now. They enter school, they will get to know new people, new fellow students, they will have a teacher, and everything is a little bit more strict. And most of the time children are afraid of starting school. But with regards to this great tradition of receiving a school cone, the so-called Schultüte, the children are more happy and see it as a huge event, and the school starts. So basically in the morning you get your school cone, or at school you will receive the school cone and the parents have brought it to school beforehand. And then you can, and then basically there's a huge family event where all of the relatives from all over Germany come together and celebrate it together. So in the morning there's the celebration party, and then the child goes to school for maybe an hour or so to get to know the other students, the classmates and the teacher. And then afterwards there will be a huge lunch party with the parents and the other relatives. So that's the first thing. Then the second one that I would like to talk to you about is that everything is closed on a Sunday. Isn't that strange? So, as I've told some of you before, I used to live in the US and I also used to live in England. And for me, it was very typical that everything was open also on Sundays. I would go to and do my grocery shoppings on a Sunday because it was just convenient for myself. But here in Germany, this is nothing that you can do. On Sundays, all of the shops are closed. The supermarkets are closed. The only things or shops that are open are shops that are at the airport or at train stations, so where there are travelers. But all of the other supermarkets are closed. Then the third thing that is very special about the Germans is that we are not supposed to wish a happy birthday anytime in advance, because that means bad luck to us. Okay, so be very, very careful. So there are some people that have joined here. I just have to stretch myself a little bit. Daydreamers here, hello, and Sapanki Hanik is here as well. Hi, it's very nice to see you all. Okay, so yes, so wishing a happy birthday in advance is bad luck. Basically, when a German has a birthday on, let's say, a Tuesday, we won't celebrate the weekend beforehand for our birthday. We will celebrate the weekend afterwards, or on the Tuesday itself. It's a little bit like the English tradition opening an umbrella inside of a building, right? That is not allowed in England. So that is something that is not allowed in Germany. Don't say happy birthday in advance. You can say happy birthday at midnight of the day, basically, but not before that. Otherwise, you will have bad luck, and all of the Germans will tell you so. So be careful with that. Okay, I get some highs. Yeah, I'm very fine. Thank you very much. How are you? It's very nice that you're joining in. Then the next fact that is very, very special about the Germans, and you probably don't know that, but the Oktoberfest that is so special for the Germans doesn't start in October. So be very careful if you book a holiday and want to participate in the Oktoberfest. Google beforehand the dates, because the Oktoberfest starts in September. So the month ahead already. And only a couple of days in October it'll still last. But the main days are in September. So be careful with that. Then, something that you've probably heard of already is that Germans like everything in order. That also means that we love punctuality, being on time. There are more people joining in. Felix is here as well. Hello! Oh, and Daydreamer and Felix know each other as well. That is so cool. Yes, you can talk to each other. I'm very happy about that. So, and Supani says that he is a chartered accountant and looking for a potential opportunity in the German job market. That is brilliant. So with a chartered accountant, just I encourage you to send me a direct message on Instagram or on Facebook, and then I'll get back to you in order to look at the possibilities that you have here. But I can see there is a huge potential for you because you have a specific job title already, chartered accountant. Brilliant. That's definitely something that we need here in Germany. So feel free to send me a message. And then there's Jeannie as well. Hello, Jeannie. Okay, so let's go on with our punctuality. aka being on time. There is a difference. The Germans in their private life can be late sometimes, and I have to admit I've been late for meetings with friends as well, and I have to apologize for that. I'm trying my best to improve myself in order to be on time. But when it comes to work meetings or starting your work and you don't have any flexible hours, it is important for you to be on time, because otherwise it'll cause a lot of problems. First of all, your colleagues will be very unhappy with you and they will let you know. They will make some comments like, oh, you're the late one again? Hello? Oh, you're just working half day today? Things like that, okay? So be very careful, especially when you start your job. In the first couple of days or even during your job interview, I would highly recommend for you to ask, what is the official time? When do we start? Is there a secret meeting, like when we all have coffee together or something like that? That is something that is called implicit knowledge. So that is something that you will learn on the job while watching how the other colleagues are working together. That is especially important when you're working in a team, because if there is one person in the team that is always 10 minutes late, the other ones will be upset. I will tell you, I can promise you that. And then other consequences can be that they exclude you from the team, they will exclude you from outside team activities or outside work activities, and that is something that you definitely don't want, right? So be careful with being on time in your business life. With your friends, you have to be flexible, especially if you have a circle of friends that is international, because every culture has a different perception of what on time means, okay? All right, so then another thing, let me just quickly have a look. Okay, hi. How are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments what kind of weird, crazy or funny traits you've heard of or encountered when meeting Germans, when working with Germans, when hearing about Germans. Let me know in the comments what you think is really strange about our behavior. Okay. So the next thing that I would like to talk to you about is recycling. I have to admit, Germans are experts when it comes to recycling. Comparing to other countries, also in Europe, we are very strict, and there's also a difference between cities and parts of cities. So we differentiate between normal waste that you can that is like that you can normally take to your garden and then use it there for your plants later on. That is something that goes into something that we call a green or brown bin. Then there is the black bin, where all of the waste goes that you don't know, that you cannot bring to your garden, but it's also no plastic and no paper. Then we have something, it's either a yellow bin or it is a yellow bag that is for all of the plastic materials. And then there's also a blue bin or even a blue container, so a bigger thing where you can put all of the paper things. And then the Germans are special again, we collect all of our glass material separately. And then we differentiate between white glass, brown glass and green glass. And then we have containers in certain spots of our cities where we can bring the glass. So we basically just collect it all together, and then we take our huge bag of glass material and bring it to a separate container that is somewhere in the city. There's not just one spot, but there are several spots where you can bring that. And then we have plastic bottles. So for example, if you have a Coca-Cola bottle or just an iced tea, or simply the water bottles that are plastic, or also the glass bottles, you can take them to the supermarket and then you get money back, because we pay something, we pay a little fee that is between 7 and 15 cents per bottle, and then we basically pay that extra, and then once we've emptied our bottle, we bring it back to the supermarket and we get the money back. That helps obviously to decrease the waste of plastic bottles and glass bottles as well. So as you can see, we are very strict when it comes to our recycling rules. And the next thing that I would like to make you aware of is something that we call the Ampelmännchen. The Ampelmännchen is a very long word, and it basically means it's a little man in the traffic light. And the red Ampelmännchen will tell you you have to stop. You cannot walk and you cannot cross the street. And we are very strict with that. If the police sees you, you will get a fine for jaywalking, basically. So whereas in New York, sometimes it's your own risk whether you get hit by a car or not, and you can jaywalk and nobody cares. In Germany, I highly recommend don't jaywalk in Germany. Just wait for the red Ampelmännchen to turn green. Once it's green, you can walk and you can cross the street. All right. Then let's have a look. Okay, so Jeannie's asking, how can I work in Germany? It is very easy. You need to find a job that you would like to do and that your skills fit. And there are certain job search engines where you can look for the job. But if you want to have more details, feel free to send me a direct message on Instagram, Jeannie, okay? And the first question from you somehow broke down, or it was interrupted because it says, hello, why do Germans don't see? What do you mean by see? Okay, but feel free to send me a direct message and I will be in touch with you in order to find out your opportunities, okay? How to enter the German labor market. Okay, so the next thing is, when it comes to working with Germans, it is a little bit difficult because Germans can be quite direct. So, that means when, for example, me as a German, I prepare an email for my colleagues, it could be just one row. Basically just, have you finished the project? Question mark. Lisa. Or I say, hi Peter, have you finished the project? Lisa. That's it. Okay, so we can be quite direct. This causes many problems when working together with other cultures. So when I was working in England, everything was way more polite and I actually loved it, but it also took a lot more time. So when I was preparing, for example, an email there, I was just, hello, how are you doing? I hope you feel great, and so on. So I did a little bit of small talk, and then I said, this is what went well during the project, and now I would like to know whether the project has been fulfilled and finished already or has been completed, and I'm looking forward to your answer. So probably 5 sentences that I used at least in an email when I was working in England. And now working in Germany, it's simply just a one rower, not a one pager, but a one rower. So basically you just need one row. Sometimes it could be that your boss just replies, great, or okay, two letters, and that's it, okay? So, and that can be very difficult. We don't mean it in a mean way, yeah? No, Germans are very reserved when it comes to encouragement and also appreciating the work of others. So it's very hard for us to say, well done, you've done such a great job. I'm looking forward to the next project that you're doing and I will support you, and how can we do that even better? That's not what the Germans do. If you've done your job great, the best thing that you will probably get is thank you, or great, or well done, and that's it. So not a lot of words that we're using. That means we are quite direct, and that can be very offensive. So, and it's totally okay that you feel offended by that, sorry. And if you feel that way, just use the way of communication, talk to your boss or talk to your colleague and say, What do you mean by that? Why do you give me such a short answer? It means to me that you're upset with my work, and and I can totally understand that, because different cultures have a different perception of emails and communication, and that's why you need to talk to your boss. Oh, and there are more people joining in. Hello, Mojo, and hello, is that a riot? Okay, thank you very much for joining in. I'm so happy that you're here. Brilliant. So, then, something that is also very interesting about the German law is that you cannot name your child the way you want to. Basically, there are some restrictions. First of all, the infant's gender must be obvious by his or her first name. And that is the rule that we have. So basically, naming your child Apple, like Gwyneth Paltrow did and Chris Martin with their child, that would be a little bit difficult in Germany, because we cannot differentiate, is the gender female or male. Actually, with all of the gender discussions going on, we will have to have a look how long this law will last. But for now, it's still valid, and you need to be very careful how to name your child. So basically, if you name your child Apple Peter or Peter Apple, that would probably be okay, because you can see from the name Peter, okay, it's a boy. All right? Have you heard of that before? Let me know in the comments. Okay, then something that is interesting for you to know as well, when you go to a bar or a pub and you meet your friends, or also you have like a party at home with friends, and then you're entering a room or a place where there are people sitting around a table, and they have obviously been at the party longer than you have been, so maybe 10 minutes or even an hour, and you just join the meeting. Then there is something that we do. We don't shake hands with everybody. We don't hug everybody. In order to be even more efficient and quicker, we knock on the table, and then it means, hello, we're here. You don't even have to say anything. You just have to knock on the table like that. That's fine, okay? You can also say, hi, but that's something that we do, okay? So you don't have to greet everyone. Yes, so and then sometimes this also happens when you're around colleagues, yeah? Not in a meeting that has started yet, but maybe when you are with your colleagues and you have a meeting that starts in 5 minutes, and you enter the room and there are 6 of your colleagues already sitting around the meeting table. That's when you can do that as well. Something that is similar to that is when it comes to having your lunch. And you go to the canteen, and then there are already a couple of your colleagues eating, and you want to wish them bon appetit. Or like we say, guten Appetit. Then you can, what is very typical for the production area, but a lot of other people from other departments say the same, it's called Mahlzeit, which basically means like a meal or a dish. And this Mahlzeit is similar, it has a similar meaning like guten Appetit or bon appetit. Okay? Then, something that is very typical for Bavaria is not just the Oktoberfest, but it's also a special fact about beer. Beer is considered a food in Bavaria officially. So in the other states of Germany, it is not considered a food, but in Bavaria it is a special thing. And that also means that you can buy it at the canteen at work. Yeah, normally when you're working, there is a rule that you shouldn't have drunk alcohol when working, but in Bavaria there is a different rule, and that basically means that you can have a beer during lunchtime. That's no big issue. Then, yes, the next thing that I would like to talk to you about is something that you've probably heard of, and this is our Autobahn, so our German highways. And the highways have no speed limit, but only 65%. So it's not that you go on the streets in Germany and you can go as fast as you want, okay? Certain parts in the city are only 30 kilometers per hour. The most of the time it's 50. And then outside on the road, it's 100 kilometers per hour. But then once you go on the Autobahn, there are certain parts that are without speed limit. So you can go as fast as you want, which is why a lot of people always want to drive on the German Autobahn. Okay. And then one more thing that I would like to talk to you about is the fact that Germans change their tires twice a year. So that might be a little bit weird for some people that are living in a climate that is very stable. But in Germany, we are changing our tires in the summer and in the winter. So normally between October and Easter time, we have our winter tires. It's basically because the winter tires have more grip, and then it's easier to ride on the roads in case there is snow. And yes, and now the upcoming weekend we have our Easter break, and that basically means the Germans are now changing their tires again. And with all of the problems going on, they now have also the time when they are at home to change their tires. All right, so let's have a look. So Jeannie is also saying, please, is a travel consultant needed in Germany? And also, can you give me a clue of which skill is needed? Yeah, so basically, when you're talking about being a travel consultant, do you mean you want to work for a travel agency, or do you want to work as an independent travel consultant? And what is it actually that you're doing? Basically, in one of my previous sessions, I was talking about the Skilled Immigration Act, and that says that Germany is looking forward to letting 25,000 workers from outside the EU even enter the German labor market. Until the 1st of March, there were only certain fields of jobs that were classed as very valuable and very necessary to come into our country. But now we're looking for basically workers in all areas, in all industries, okay? So that's definitely an opportunity for you. Oh, and I can see Sternchen Post is here as well. Hi! And Celini is joining as well. Hi! And then Rayan is also here. Hi! Oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. Thank you very much for joining in. Okay, so that was basically it about the German special traits and fun facts about us Germans. And I highly recommend for you to be very careful with the facts that I was talking about when it comes to working together with Germans, because we can be very difficult at times. I can only highlight again, we don't mean it in a mean way. And you just need to address the issue that you have in case you have a little problem that you don't understand why we react in a certain way. So next week I'll be talking about German holidays and how we celebrate that. I hope this lesson was very interesting to you, and let me know in the comments whether you've heard of any further weird traits that the Germans have. So, thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you next week. Auf Wiedersehen und tschüss!